Hello students, welcome back to your math classes. How are you all? I hope you all are doing well and I hope so you have completed your revision part also related to the previous section. So today we have a new concept which is value added tax. So value added tax is the GST we have. So in value added tax or sales tax is the tax collected by state government on the commodities sold. It is levied at a specified rate on the sale price of the items and it varies from item to item, state to state. As a matter of fact, it lies between 4% to 12 of 1 by 2% of the bill amount. If any discounts is offered, then first discount is deducted from the marked price and then VAT is calculated on the selling price. Many times the price of commodity includes the VAT. This computation of VAT is explained through the following examples. The marked price of a refrigerator is 20,000. If the VAT is charged on it is at the rate of 12%, find the amount that Karan has to pay for the buying the refrigerator. Now, this extra price is denoted as the tax which is paying by the common people to the government, and this tax is differ item to item and state to state. But the rule is this lies between 4% to 12.5%, not more than this. Now, Virat bought a pair of shoes for 588.50, which includes 7% VAT. Find the list price of the pair of the shoes. So 7% of X is 7x upon 100 because we don't know the price of pair. So x plus 7x upon 100 is equal to 107 upon x. So now 107 upon 107x upon 100 is equal to 588.50. So the value of x is equal to 550. Now Sumit bought a shirt for 892.50 including a VAT, which is value added tax. If the sale price of the shirt is 850, find the rate of the VAT. So this is Sumit bought this much and this is the sale price of the shirt. It means we don't know the x, so VAT, so we take it, let x by 100, the cost price, the sale price of the shirt is 850, which means 17x upon 2. Now selling price of the shirt, this is our VAT, this is our selling price, and VAT is included, right, with the selling price plus VAT. Okay, so 850 plus 17x upon 2, it's now equal to, because this is the amount on which the Sumit purchased both this shirt. 850 minus from 892.50, so your result is 42.50. Now 17x upon 2, x is equal to 5 by reciprocal of it. The list of price of an air conditioner is 18,000. If the dealer offers a discount of 6%, how much money will a customer pay to the dealer if the rate of VAT is 10%? So first we have to calculate the discount. So 6% of 18,000 is 1,080. Now this is discount. Discount means less. So we have to subtract 1,080 from 18,000. This is your final answer, 16,920. Now you have to find out the 10% of this. The final answer is 1,692. This amount and this amount now should be add together, and this is your final price which you have to give to the dealer. Now we have exercise 10.3. So the list price of a pen is 675. If a value added tax of 5% is charged on it, what will be the amount that a customer has to pay to buy the pen? So what we have to do, we have to find out the 5% of 675. So we can easily calculate it. 5 5s are 25, 2 5 7s are 35, 37, 3 5 6 are 30, and this 33.75. Now we have to add this amount to 675. 8, 10, 1.5. This is the final amount you have to pay. Now a washing machine is available for 13,750 including VAT. If the VAT rate of VAT is 10%, find the list price of the machine. So including VAT means 0 is cancelled with 0, 0 is cancelled with 0. which should be subtracted from, means only 10,000. If you subtract it, 0 minus 5, 4 minus 7 is not possible, 14 minus 7 is 7, and 6 minus 3 is 6, and 2 and 1. This is your final amount which you have to. Now, Supriya goes to a shop to buy a food processor costing 4,360. The rate of VAT is 9%. She asks the shopkeeper to reduce the price of the food processor so that she has to pay 4,360 inclusive of VAT. Find the reduction needed in the price of food processor. So it means that 9% should be paying because it is a tax for us. So first of all, we have to find out the 9% of 4,660. So zeros cancel out with 0. Now we have 0.9 multiplied by 436. Whichever your answer is, you have to minus from 4,360. Now, Raj bought some furniture with a marked price of 12,800 at a discount of 6%. If VAT is charged at the rate of 5%, find the amount paid by Raj. So, first of all, you have to find the 6% of 12,800. Whichever you have your answer, which is this. Now, 6 8s are 48, 4 6 2s are 12. 12 plus 4 is 16, 1 6 1s are 6, 7, 6, 8. Now, you have to subtract this amount from 12,800 minus 768. The amount you have, multiply that amount, then you have your answer. So I hope so, student, this exercise is clear to you. Next we have the another concept we have, which is compound interest. In class 8, you have learnt about the simple interest. Recall that simple interest is charged on the sum borrowed principal throughout the period of loan. It is given by the formula simple interest P into R into T divided by 100, where P is the principal, R is the percent per annum. Per annum is the rate of interest, and time period for which the sum is borrowed is T years. So, however, in practice, the interest that is charged, paid is seldom. The simple interest, generally banks, post offices, insurance companies, and other financial institutes uses a different method of computing interest. So, basically, what you have to do in simple interest, the difference between the original principal and the amount and the of a specific time period, it's called the compound of interest. We have two kind of interest. The first one, simple interest, and the second one, compound interest. In simple interest, we have in all cases the same principal for 3 years, for 5 years. Okay, the principal should be same. But in compound interest, we have to change the principal with time. After 1 year, the principal, it's not same as the in our year number 1, but then year number 2 having another principal, year number 3 we having another principal. So it means in compound interest we continuously changing our principal. That's why compound interest is greater as compared to simple interest. We are always heard a word which is compounding, so that is refers this compound interest. Now for first 5 years, P is 10,000, R is 5%, and time is 1 year. So interest on the first year is 10,000 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 1 divided by 100, which is a formula P into R into T. So this is your interest. Now what you have to do, this interest should be added in your principal. So the new amount is 10,500, and this is your new principal. It means for 5 years you have different 5 principal which you have to collect. So this is your first interest, then this is your first principal, second principal, second interest, that way. At the end of the time, the compound interest is this. Okay, 1576.25. You may also compute compound interest by adding the interest for each year. For comparison, let us find the simple interest on 10,000 at 5% per annum for 3 years. So this is our answer. So SI is same 500 for each year. Thus, for a given principal rate and time, the compound interest is greater than or equal to the simple interest equal for first years if compounded annually. Formula for finding compound interest. So this is our simple interest formula where we are changing the our principal continuously. But what we have, if a formula where we don't need to change our principal again and again, that formula is this. And the compound interest at the end of n years is this. So in this case, you don't need to change your principal again and again. You just have to put the P, your N, your R. N here is represent your time. Okay. Now compound interest when conversion period, it's not 1 year. When the interest in compounded half yearly, the conversion period here is 6 months. If the rate of interest is R% per annum, then it R% by 2 per half year for n years. There are 2.5 years or 2n conversion periods. Thus, for a principal P, rate of interest R% per annum, interest being compounded half yearly after n years, the amount A and compounded interest compound CI are given by. So in this case, if you have to find out the half yearly, so your n will be converted to 2n. So in this case, amount is equal to 1 plus R by 200 multiplied by 2n, because your rate of interest will also R by 2. And here we have 100. So 100 multiplied by 2 is R by 100. Then in case 2, if we have compounded quarterly. So now we have to multiply 100 with 4 and n with 4. So this is your amount, and if you have to find out the compound interest, that is P1 plus R by 400, 4n minus 1. Apart from money lent borrowed on compound interest, the formula for amount can be used to find entities which are given to increase or decrease at a certain rate over a certain period of time. For example, population of a city, height or weight of a person, value of land, building or machine, etc. Now calculate the amount and the compound interest on 2500 for 3 years at 8% per annum compounded annually. So compounded annually, P we have 1 plus R we have 8 by 100. We just have to solve this question, and here is our answer. And compound interest is 649.28. Next we have 12,800 for 2 years at 15% per annum compounded half yearly, which means P 1 plus 1 plus R by 200 because half yearly and 2n. So 12 multiplied by 8,001 plus 15 upon 200 and raised to the power 4. This is our final answer, and compound interest is 3,100.40. And next we have n is equal to 3. So is it simple for us? We just have to put the values and find out the answer. Now Pratik borrowed 16,000 for 3 years at the rate of 5% per annum compound interest. How much would he pay after 3 years? So principal is 16,000. 16,000, 1, R is your 5 and 100 and 100. Now n is your time period is 3. 16, 1 plus 1 by 20 raised to the power 3, 21 upon 20. Here is your answer. So hence after 3 years, Pratik would have to pay 18,522 rupees. Next we have find the difference is simple interest and compound interest on 1250 for 2 years at 4% per annum. So this is your principal, this is your rate of interest, and this is your time period. Here is your formula for the simple interest. 1250 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 2 divided by 100, which is equal to 100. Now you have to calculate the compound interest on the same value. So principal 1250, 1, 4 by 100 and 2, which we have to find compound interest. And in compound interest formula, we have to have a same formula, but we have to minus 1. So at the end, we have the answer rupees 102. So difference between compound interest and simple interest is 102 minus 100, which is equal to 2. Now, find the compound interest paid when a sum of 15,000 is invested for 1 year and 4 months at 5% per annum compounded annually. So in this case, we have 2 time periods, one annually and the second one is quarterly. So first P is 15,000, 5% per annum, time is 1 year, 4 months, which is this, so n is equal to 1 upon 1/3. Since the number of conversion period is not a whole number, we shall first calculate the amount of after 1 year and then calculation simple interest at amount for 1 upon 3 years. So in this case 15,000, 1 plus 5 by 100, and this is your final answer. Now the simple interest for 15,750 for 1 by 3 years is giving P into R into T. This is your final answer. Interest for first year is 15,750 minus 15,750. Total compound interest is 750 plus 262.50. This is your final answer. So in this question, what we understand, if we have a time period which is not a whole number, in this case we have to separately taking our time period for after 1 year in the compound interest formula, and next we have to calculate for 1 upon 3 part as the simple interest formula, and at the end of the moment you just have to add these two values together to find out your answer. Now the count of bacteria in a culture grows by 10% every year. Find the count of bacteria at the end of 2 hours if the initial count was 8,000. So you have P, initial count in 8,000, R 10% per hour, and time 2 years. So you have your formula of compound interest. Just calculate your answer. So count of bacteria at the end of 2 hours is 9,680. Now we have exercise 10.4. Calculate the amount and the compound interest. So here we have a principal P 7,000 time 3 years and rate of interest as 5% compounded annually. So annually we just don't need to change our formula. A is equal to 7,000 1 plus 5 by 100 upon 3. So now 7,000 multiply 105 upon 100, 105 upon 100, 105 upon 100. So you have to calculate these values. So it is a long calculation, it takes time. So what you have to do, take your time, solve this question, and at the moment you got your answer. Next we have 15,000 for 6 months at 8% per annum compounded quarterly. Quarterly means 1/4. So now you have to change your formula. 7,001 plus quarterly, which means 5 upon 400, 4 multiply by 3, because you have 4n and n is equal to 3 years. So 4 multiply by for 6 months. 6 months half yearly, so half multiply by 3 by 2, you have to add those semi-annually. So you have 4. So you just have to solve this question and you got your answer. Next, Rahul borrowed a sum of 32,000 for 1 upon half years, 1.2 half years at 10% per annum compounded annually. Tarun borrowed the same sum for half years at the same rate of interest but compounded half yearly. Who pays more interest and by how much? So in this case, first you have to find out for 1 year and then you have to find out for the half year. Your P is 32,000. 1 plus 10%, to 10 upon 100 and 1. So 32,000 multiply 110 upon 100. 2 zeros are cancelled out with 2 zeros, and 3 2 2 3 2 5 3. So 3 5 2 0 is your compound interest. Now you have to find out for the half year, which is P 32,000, R which is 10, and T which is 1 by 2. So 2 multiply by 100. 1 0 is cancelled out with 1 0. 1 0 is cancelled out with 1 0. Here is 1. Here we have 16 and 100. So the simple interest is 1600. Now you have to add the total interest. So compound interest is total 1600 plus 3520. So 3, 4, 5,220 is your final answer. After this, you have to calculate for the Tarun. So Tarun borrow. So same thing you have to repeat for the Tarun. But the thing is that for Tarun we have to put 32,001 plus 10 upon 200 and 2 multiplied by n, so 2. So now you have to solve this question in that way. 2000 multiplied by 110 upon 200 multiplied by 110 upon 200. Then you have to apply the simple interest formula. 2 zeros cancel out with 2 zeros, 2 zeros are cancel out with 2 zeros. Here we have, so you have to calculate this. After this, 2 multiplied by r, which is 10 and half, means 2. Now you have to solve this and then calculate your answer. Add the two values together and find out which one have to pay the greater interest among Tarun and Rahul. Next, we have find the difference between compound interest and simple interest on 40,960 at 6/14% per annum for 3 years. So in this case, what we have to do? First we have to apply compound interest formula. 4,9,6,0,1 plus, here is 6 4s are 24, 24 plus 25 upon 400 and 3. You have to solve this first and then calculate 4,960, 40,960 multiply by r, which is 25 by 100 multiply by 3. Calculate both the answers and then find your difference. I explain you how you have to put which formula you have to use and how you have to put the values into the formula. Next we have a sum amounts 8,820 at 5% per annum compounded annually in 2 years. Find the sum. 8,820 1 plus 5 upon 100 and for 2 years annually. So you have to calculate 8,820 multiplied by 105 upon 100 and 105 upon 100. You have to solve this and then you got your answer. So in same way you have to solve rest of the questions. I hope so you understood how you have to use the formula, how you have to put the values. If you have any doubt, so again my same advice, just go through the example first and then come back to your exercise. Now we have things to be remembered. So here we have what does mean by percentage. Percent means per 100 out of per 100 or for every 100, the selling price, the cost price, the profit and loss, the discount, the market price. It means it is the end and it is a compiled form of all your concepts we learned in this chapter. So if you forget any concept, refer these things to be remembered to get your concept fulfilled and complete your knowledge. So students, for today that's it. Now I'll meet you in your next class with a new chapter. Till that, just make sure that you have completed your revision part for previous chapters as well as for this chapter. So students, have a good day. Bye bye.